All right, welcome back to the H2G Podcast. We're back and better than ever. All right, let's go ahead and go around the horn. We're going to talk about what the best part of your weekend was. I'm starting with you, Marvin.
The best part of my weekend, well, I think that we have concluded my apartment hunt. I think I have found the right place that suits me. It is so hard trying to find a place here in New York City. New York real estate is just a mess right now because of the pandemic. But you meet some interesting real estate agents along the way. Some agents that are just in a hurry, some that want to have nothing to do with you, some that actually want to help you. You really have to filter them all out and find the one that works for you. So it was a better weekend, and I'm feeling relief now. So I'm feeling better.
Good. Let's go to Justin. Go. Take your drink. Chug.
Come on, man.
Oh, how would you do that to me? I'm drinking tea too. Congratulations, Marvin. That's awesome, dude. I know you've been working. He was telling me the other day about the hunting process and how many blocks on blocks he had to walk. So I'm sure you're relieved, and I'm happy to hear that you found a place, man, and I'm excited for you.
Brother.
Best part of my weekend, I am finding some happiness. I'm I don't know. My mood is up. Maybe it's this positive energy tea that I'm drinking. I don't know. I've just been enjoying life quite a bit and watching some TV when I can. Editing was smooth because I got some awesome co-hosts with me. So I've been enjoying life. That's the best part of my weekend.
All right. Well, I don't know how anybody's going to top that. Let's go to Christy.
The best part of my weekend, we actually got to go see some friends for a birthday party. We've all been quarantining, so it was very safe. And it was really awesome. Got to drink a few beers and enjoy some face-to-face time with people, which is so rare these days. So I may have topped it. I don't know.
It's now a competition. All right, Richie. What was the best part of your weekend?
I mean, well, right now I'm about to die while I was playing my game, so it's not going so hot. But speaking of, this iPad I just bought, this thing's super dope, and I bought a pen, and it works really well. So once again, you know me, I love tech. This was just something that was inherently not for the video game, but it's just really nice to be able to read. I used to read things on my phone, and I never really had any digital reading tablets. So is this the best digital reading tablet? No, there are actually better ones. There are ones that are actually designed for black and white and etc. But I also like to travel, so 256 gigs. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of movies on here. This is gonna be a good time. It's just really funny to me how powerful these things are. I don't think I'll ever need my computer outside of the podcast at this point because this thing can do anything I need it to do. So best part of my week, spending money. I mean, you know.
All right. Yeah. Well, my weekends, I had a really stressful, chaotic work week last week. So my weekend has been spent with a lot of wine and unwinding. I have been very productive. I will say that. I got a lot done this weekend, which is nice. It always helps reduce the stress throughout the week when you can get a lot done. But yeah, I've gone through some wine this weekend, so I should probably replenish that this week.
Good idea. Wait, what kind of wine?
Well, so I normally prefer a red wine, but that tends to give me headaches more easily. And since I knew I'd probably be drinking a lot of it, I went with white wine and did a Sauvignon Blanc. So I've done a couple different ones. I switched it up, but it's been good.
What's your favorite red? I gotta know.
Usually Cab. I do like Merlot though sometimes too. I like 19 Crimes a lot. That's pretty good for me. I'm not like a bougie wine drinker by any means. And then my favorite Sauvignon Blanc is Kim Crawford. So there we have it. All right. Well, thank you for asking that question. That's actually a good transition for me because we're actually going to be doing some debating on some favorites and some topics, but it's all going to be in good fun. It's not going to be anything super serious. So Richie's ready. He's always ready to debate. So we're going to start. I have a whole list of topics over here. They're all going to be funny. And I want you commenting below with where you stand on these different topics. So the first one that we're going to do is about toilet paper. When you put the toilet paper on the toilet paper roll, do you put it over the top and have it come down, or do you have it go behind and underneath? Okay. And we're going to start with Christy on this one. What do you do? What's your opinion?
I do it both ways just because I know. Well, my husband likes it over the top. So sometimes if he's irritating me, I do it under just for gets and jiggles.
Oh my God.
I know I'm the worst, but you got to keep the relationship spicy and spiteful.
Yeah, I was gonna say at first I wasn't on that with you. Like I was like, no, you can't do both. And then when you told me why, I was like, you know what? I can get behind that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
All right, let's pass it off to Marvin. What do you do?
Over the top. I've always found if you put it like under, like it just like something happens, you actually brush up against it, and it just rolls and it keeps coming down. I'm pretty sure everybody's gone through that once or another, but I'm an over the top person. I feel like that's just a more efficient way and probably a more common sense way. And it just keep falling, you know.
It's fighting words, Marvin, for some people.
No, not fighting words. I'm just saying, you know, you don't want to just have toilet tissue just strung out across the floor. So it's best to just have it over the top.
All right. Anybody do it from behind? Do it from behind. Get it, Chris.
Whoa.
I actually want to speak on behalf of Tony. So it was like season 2 or season 3 where he said, if you have kids, you have to do it behind because the kids are going to run up and they're just going to hit the roll and it gets all jacked up.
Yeah,
so
like having a cat.
On behalf of our long lost companion.
For the week, he's not gone.
Well, alive. He's alive and well.
He's alive and well. And that brings me to what I was going to say. I mean, I actually started putting it the other way because of what Tony had said. And that was during like a game of the week, right? Because my cat will break into the bathroom. He will get the door open and he will run that shit until it's down to the roll. And I got tired of cleaning it up. And I'm like, you know what? I remembered, Tony Ray. We miss you. We hope that you come back. I hope you didn't leave us.
Okay,
all right.
I disagree, guys. Y'all killing me. Here's the reality. I am no longer a toilet paper peon anymore. I have a bidet, so I don't use toilet paper. But
he's too technologically advanced for toilet paper.
Okay, no. Think of it this way: if a bird took a crap on you, would you take a piece of paper and wipe it down, or would you wash it off with water and soap? I would hope you'd wash it off. So why, when it's your own poop, are you just using a piece of paper? It's disgusting to me. But anyways, back to the question. Let's go directly to the question. It doesn't make sense to go from, I'm not saying behind because y'all crazy, but from underneath.
Here we go.
It does make sense to go from behind, but not from underneath in this sense. So one of the reasons why I don't think that, like, I get the idea of what Tony had argued and what some of you are saying. Oh, well, my cat can't do this, that, and the other. Okay, well, then get a toilet. Here's why you want to go with like over the top. Get a toilet paper holder that's going to shield it. Because one, that won't happen and the cat can't do it. Two, when it's on the top side, you can pull it up and it'll actually like pull the tissue paper off. That's why those like covers exist. So get a cover like that, and then you can have a phone holder on the top if you're one of those weirdos that like likes to read with your phone. They have them. They're like $15 on Amazon. So it's a little thing that covers over the tissue paper, and you just pull down and then pull up, and then it just breaks off perfectly. It's very hygienic. That way, if some guest is over and you don't know if they eat like Doritos and get all their nastiness on the tissue paper, get a holder, pull it up off the top, good to go. If you're doing it otherwise, I don't know what to say to you. You're just being wasteful. It doesn't make sense. It's just not quick. I don't understand why you would do it.
Is that a thing? People leave Cheeto fingerprints on toilet paper? You will be never allowed back in my fucking house.
Here's all I have to say. I have a lot of guests come over, and there's two things I've learned. One, they like to judge your bathroom and talk about your stuff. And then two, their bathroom is always disgusting. So back to the first point. My bathroom is pristine. And I noticed tissue paper or my sink just having marks. I'm not saying Cheetos or Doritos, but there would be like dirt on their hand. And it just like, you're not welcome back to my place. And I'm not gonna hold your hand anymore because it's disgusting. So anyways, I've learned throughout like life with the bathroom situations about like, one, people aren't very clean, which is why I no longer use tissue paper, in addition to the sanitary reasons. And then two, if you're gonna do it, over the top. If it's underneath, not from behind. If it's underneath, no. That's a no-go, you're a weirdo. Sorry.
I actually kind of agree with you, Richie. I have cats, but it's over the top. Gotta go over the top. I can't. It bothers me if it's from underneath. Yeah. All right. We're going to go on to our next topic. And this one I am very passionate about. And it's become like a running joke with some of my friends. But is a hot dog a sandwich? All right. We're going to start with Richie on this one. We're going to go back.
Oh, goodness. I didn't even have any time to think about it. Here's what I'm going to say. No. Here's why I say no. Whether it's bread or whether it's a bun, right? Because the idea is still the same. It's one piece. To me, I'm going to define a sandwich as having two pieces of bread of some fashion, top and bottom, right? A bun is split in half, so it's only one like loaf or one piece of bread. And I think that's the only reason why I'm saying a hot dog is not a sandwich. It's only one piece of bread. If it were two pieces, who are you to argue what the context of what's in between it is? But there's only one piece of bread. It's not a sandwich.
But what if the bun, as you're like making the hot dog and you're like loading this thing up and it rips, does it suddenly become a sandwich?
Oh, Chelsea.
Listen, I put a lot of thought into this.
Okay, in that scenario where it truly did rip and it's two pieces of bread, by my own definition, I have to say it's a sandwich.
Okay. All right.
Okay. But when you get like a hard shell taco at Taco Bell and the shell breaks, does that make the taco a sandwich?
Yes.
No.
The taco is not made. It's tortilla. That's not even bread.
It's not bread. What are you talking about?
It's a bread substance.
But it's made from wheat, corn, whatever.
Corn.
Justin can't eat it, so I mean it's.
Poor Justin. Okay, so this is a stupid question, but if Marvin is in a tent in the woods and a bear walks up, would the bear be eating a sandwich? Or would he be eating a meat, I don't know, tortilla?
Like an empanada?
And bread.
It's not bread. The tent is not bread. It's not.
Okay, it's two things. Okay, but
then,
you can have.
Do you make it more complicated and you say anytime something is sandwiched between two things, does that automatically make it a sandwich? See, my argument, just in my perspective, is that a hot dog is a sandwich. Like a sub sandwich is a sub, and a lot of times that's connected and it's just one piece of bread. Like it's a very passionate topic for me. Hot dogs are sandwiches.
Point, Chelsea. I didn't even think of that. Fair.
Yeah.
There is a chef's answer and definite or like difference between a submarine and a hoagie though, and that's whether or not the bread is connected.
Bread is connected. Yeah.
Question:
But-
what's a corn dog?
An American tradition that adds on to LBs.
Yeah, we don't. Corn dog is its own thing.
It's a hot dog burrito.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Somebody once dropped, they were making hot dogs and they dropped one of them in the pancake batter and that rolled over onto the grill and that fat motherfucker ate it.
It was delicious.
In all fairness, you can try. Come on, man. Marvin, what do you think though? You're shaking your head, man.
What
I
is
know
it?
you don't believe it's a sandwich, but I want you to say it. After you unmute, of course.
What's going on?
Are you gonna comment? I think he's like speechless.
We're having technical difficulties, folks, but that's what makes us even better. We're doing it live.
Is he super slow or
There he is.
Are you talking about me or Justin? See? Apologies, y'all. So Buka Reel's always rolling, but I thought you were talking about Justin for a second. Oh, yeah. I disagree with you, Chelsea, wholeheartedly. I have to agree with Richie. Listen, y'all, food is its own thing. We always try to personalize it and want to have fun and give it different names. Like a corn dog's a corn dog. It's not a sandwich. A burger is a burger. It is what it is. You know, I've heard people say pizza is a sandwich. No, it is not. Pizza's pizza. When you growing up, did you ever hear anyone of your parents, anyone take you to any kind of pizza shop and say, "Oh, we're going to get a sandwich with cheese on it"? That's not what happened. They're not going to get 6 slices of cheese on a piece of bread. That's not going to happen. So I disagree. A hot dog is what it is. It's not a sandwich. It's only one piece of bread. And sometimes, the bread, like sometimes the bread just falls apart. And it doesn't mean it just splits apart and becomes a sandwich, Chelsea. I just think that sometimes that, you can't just personalize food and you just have to call it what it is. A hot dog is what it is.
I do have to say, and I pay attention to this because I'm so passionate about it, but when you go to restaurants that have a wide range of a menu and they happen to also carry hot dogs, they usually list them underneath the sandwich section of their menu.
Well, they're wrong for that.
I think they are right for that. They are doing the Lord's work, okay? No.
I'm with you. I gotta be honest, Chelsea, and I'm no disrespect. I love me a good hot dog. And in fact, out here, they have like hot dog places exclusively, right? Like I don't go to many restaurants where a hot dog's on the menu. And if it were, I'm with Marvin, I would want it to say hot dog. I would not want it to be.
I'm out.
Just gets its own category with just hot dog underneath.
It's its own category. It's its own thing.
And then under it,
it shouldn't be like one singular hot dog, but it should be like signature hot dogs.
No, I think it's like the whole like parallelogram thing. So it's like a square is a parallelogram, but it's not necessarily a rectangle, or like not all parallelograms are squares, I think hot dogs are the same way. Like a hot dog is a form of a sandwich, That's my...
This madness has got to end, Chelsea. They're all on one. They don't understand what's going on. You guys are wrong. Hot dog is a sandwich because you've got meat ingredients, other ingredients put between 2 pieces of bread. It doesn't matter if the bread is separate, because once you folded it over, you've got bread on top, you got bread on the bottom, you got meat in the middle. Whether or not those are connected, forget about it.
What if it's not meat?
You do not.
What if it's just a grilled cheese sandwich?
A sandwich requires 2 pieces of bread.
It requires, okay, so like if you use it as a noun, yeah, it probably would exactly come through definition wise, not because I looked it up because Tony's not here or anything, as, a piece of food that's got 2 pieces of bread with something in the middle. However, if you use it as a verb, could mean to squeeze in between 2 things, which is what a hot dog is doing on that bun, squeezing between 2 halves of the bun. So in my opinion, it's still...
No. The hot dog is being sandwiched. It is not a sandwich. There is a difference.
Right.
I try to make a verb out of a noun and then try to change it into a noun. That's not how that works.
Hey, you can't do that.
Richie's a sandwich.
I'm over this one.
On to the next. But if I ever hang out with all you guys, I'm making hot dog sandwiches.
With that.
All right, so this is a classic one. You guys have probably debated this before. But what came first, the chicken or the egg? All right, we're starting with you, Justin. Which came first?
Oh, man. Well, I'm gonna say egg, and the reason I'm gonna say that is because a lot of things come from eggs. However, I have no idea how the first anything got here, nor does anyone. That's why like all these wars have been fought and these cults have been formed and all that shit. How? I don't know. I think maybe like a bunch of eggs, raptors were coming out of them, and then all of a sudden one of the raptors came out and went, ah!
Anybody want to debate that?
I want to actually know, how does the raptor sound when it
Okay.
I actually make a good dinosaur noise, but that's not for today. Continue.
I have to debate it, but not the noise. The theory is actually really close, and I do basically agree with Justin, because we can't know, to his first point. But what is absolutely more likely, as we've learned in life, is things evolve. So it is more likely that there was a bird-like creature similar to a chicken that hatched an egg, and through evolution, a chicken, ended up being the final result. So it didn't maybe make the noise he made, or nonetheless. But the point being is there was some chicken-like bird of some sort that laid an egg, and then that egg hatched into a chicken, and so forth and so forth. It's impossible for something to just exist. So the egg had to have come first. It's a matter of when did that happen.
Okay. Anybody disagree?
Oh, I agree, but I only agree because you have eggs for breakfast and then chicken for lunch. So technically, egg came before chicken.
That is, I think, the best answer I've ever heard for that question.
I've never heard that theory before.
Have you ever tried raptor egg omelets? They're great.
Did you have any input, Marvin?
Not much. Everybody has covered pretty much everything.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. I think an egg, has an origin, just like everything else. We don't know what that origin is. It may be a raptor, like Justin said. It may be prehistoric. It may be from the Loch Ness. We don't know. I would just have to say the egg comes first. Eggs comes first in the morning when you think of breakfast. So I think we're just going to stick with eggs here. I think we're all four. I think we're 5 for 5.
Yeah, we actually agreed on this one, guys.
I think we all can agree on this one.
For this next one, I was not aware that this one was up for debate until like 2 days ago. And I've done a lot of research on it since then, and I figured out where it stemmed from, but I want to see what people think. I know Christy will definitely have strong opinions on this one. Is Goofy a dog or a cow? All right, I'm going to pass it off to Christy just because I know she's a huge Disney fan. So
I'm going to say, I'm going to say cow. I know, but if Pluto's a dog and Goofy would be a dog, why is Pluto on all fours? Did Goofy just evolve? And why is he trying to date the other cow? What is her name?
I read about both of those arguments.
You people or cows can date whoever you want to date, but I'm guessing that for Disney's sake, they probably kept the species dating, like Mickey and Minnie, Donald and Daisy. They're all the same species. So I'm going to say he's a cow.
Okay. Who disagrees? Pretty much everyone.
Yeah. Go.
He's not a cow. That's absurd. He's a dog. Like, it doesn't matter. Who cares about Pluto? Like, Pluto's dumb. Fine. Goofy's not dumb. Who cares? Like, they're both dogs. It doesn't matter. Like, are you kidding me?
Goofy, his name is literally Goofy. He is an idiot.
Yeah, but Pluto can't speak and can't walk, so clearly he's stupider. I mean, come on. How are we having this argument? If they're both the same thing and one can't speak or stand upright, it's definitely dumber than the other one. Come on. Common sense. Regardless how goofy is, he's clearly smarter than Pluto. But back to the dog point, he has to be a dog. I mean, I'm sure that, like, you guys have done more research, so I'm not going to sit here and try to argue. Clearly, Chelsea and Christy have done research. But, like, if he was a dog, if he was a cow, his whole face would be different. Like, his face would be different. he can't have that black nose thing. It wouldn't work like that. Like, that's just not gonna. He's not a cow. It's impossible. He'd be a steer and he'd have horns and stuff.
All right. Anybody else?
Let me at him. I'm not coming at you, Richie. I'm with you, Richie. It comes down to anatomy. Simple anatomy. Have you ever seen a cow with droopy ears all the way down to here? No, they have very distinctive ears like that. Not as pointed as my wrist made my hand go. I'm not doing it again. It hurt my wrist. I pulled something in my forearm. I'm gonna go see a doctor when we get done with Monday night's episode here. So it's fine. But point being, due to the ears alone, it is scientifically impossible for Goofy to be a freaking cow. Come on, people. Come on. Get your mooters together. I don't know. I got nothing. That was bad.
Utterly impossible. Very moving argument, Justin. You got any input on this one, Marvin?
Yeah, there is no argument. Goofy's a dog. Chelsea, I mean, Christy, where do you get cow from? Like, did you see the Goofy movie, Christy? Did you see has everyone seen the Goofy movie?
Absolutely.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, if not
the movie is about Goofy and his son. His son is a dog. His son is a dog. So I just don't understand the question and how that could be an argument, because it's so clear as day. If you are a Disney fan and you know you're Disney, you would look at Goofy and know that's exactly who he is. I mean, he's a dog with a huge gap, smiling all the time, dumb as a box of rocks, and his son is smart and cool, but his dad is not. But so you get a sense, okay, cool dog, okay, dumbass dog. Yeah. Son was the cool dog, dad was a dumbass dog. Disney made a play on that, on dumbass dogs. So Goofy is a dog, a dumbass one.
So,
and he would have hooves.
Yeah,
he would have hooves if he was a king.
Well, I did a bunch of research on it because I am who I am as a person, and this is all based on a joke article that somebody made up and people took it seriously, but he's actually based on Dippy Dog, I think was the original name of him, and based on the guy who originally voiced Goofy. He said that he's not necessarily like a normal Pluto dog, but he's related to the dog family, so he's more closely related to a dog than a cow. So that one's actually been debunked, but people still argue it because for some reason they think he's a cow. But no, he is not.
It's because it's America. That's what we've come to now. If I read it somewhere online, it's 100% fact, and screw you if you have science and things like that to prove me wrong.
Science on cartoons. All right. Next topic. Is water wet? We're going to start with Marvin, because I like the face he's making.
Is water wet? Yes, it's wet. If I walk up to you and I have a glass of water and I throw it in your face, what are you going to feel?
Yeah, but is the water itself wet? Because water makes things wet, but is the water itself wet if that's its state of being?
I'll know by your reaction whether it's wet or not. And I'm really trying to really grip the question. Water is wet. I mean, if you get dropped in the ocean, you're going to get wet. There's just, when it rains on you, you're going to get wet. When you take a shower, you're going to get wet. Water is wet. Water's not dry. When you're in a steam room, the water it creates condensation, so it's still wet. So water is wet. There's no other way to answer that. I got nothing else.
Does anybody disagree with that? No? Is this one a bad topic? Do we all agree?
No, I don't think it's a bad topic. This is just a challenging thing because it's really more like language than science.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, Marvin's point is what he articulated at the end is how I feel. Water, you could argue water is not wet because it makes things wet, and it's moisture, and water is a liquid in itself, and a liquid is not wetness, but it causes wetness. But at the same time, water's not dry, so that's why it's kind of like one of those weird arguments. Because if you're saying it's not wet, then you have to imply it's essentially
yeah. But on the other hand, too, things don't have to inherently be either wet or dry. Like it doesn't have to be not one or the other.
Well, then, but
I mean, part of my body's made up of water, but I'm not wet right now. Like my hair's dry. Like I'm not standing in the shower.
Too easy.
I know.
Too easy.
Already. Hey.
We're not talking about Chelsea's body, but I'll move on to the water is wet part. Because like I said, if it's not wet, then what is it? It's water. So that's why it's like, well, yeah, water is not wet. It's water. But that's where the argument I feel like kind of ends, because again, this is more like language than anything else. It's not, it's water. Water is water. Water isn't wet. Water causes things to be wet. Yeah. It's a liquid. Water is a liquid. I mean, that's scientific.
In the words of Zoolander, moisture is the essence of wetness, and wetness is the essence of beauty.
That's true. Moisturize, but don't forget sunscreen.
All right. Well, I'm going to do one final debate topic, and that is physical books versus Kindles, because you brought up iPads earlier and it made me think of it. So what's your view? We're going to start with Justin. Do you like physical books or Kindle to read it all digitally?
So I guess, like if somebody was trying to say, if you do an audiobook, you didn't read the book, is that this argument? I would disagree with that statement wholeheartedly. I've got ADHD. I've had to read for coursework. I've had to read for work. I've had to read for a lot of things. And if you don't know what it's like in the real world of ADHD, not the excuse to get drugs world, it's really difficult to comprehend things that you're reading because your brain is shooting a lot of different ideas and reactions to what you're reading at you. So what it looks like for me when I read is I read that paragraph, maybe in the first paragraph, usually I'm right with it. Second paragraph, I thought of something, so I got to go back to the first paragraph. Third paragraph, got to go back to the top. I forget what happened in the third paragraph. And so you can see how getting through an entire book becomes extremely difficult. Where it works for me is when I can take notes. So audiobooks, boom, talented voice actors reading the book to me. I get lost, I hit pause, catch up on my notes, hit play. And that gets me through books, because a lot of stuff that I read is like personal development, ways to be successful and things like that with life, listening to successful people talk. But I feel like that would also be the best approach if I was trying to read through Harry Potter again, or try to read through the Lord of the Rings books, or something as massive as like Game of Thrones, or Song of Fire and Ice. So I don't know. I don't want to get kicked out of the reading club because I don't pay attention as well as the rest of the class.
Can I kick him out of the question club?
Yeah, he didn't even answer the question.
The question was, can ebook reading digitally on an iPad or reading a book on paper?
Well, neither.
Nobody
audiobook.
You can say thank you. There we go. Okay. Now you answer the question. Sorry. I just had to. No, I mean, honestly, Justin, side note, audiobooks are great. You're getting the book read to you, so you're learning the story. And that's what this is about, learning the story. For me, I like the physical. I know I just said I do a lot of reading, and I do a lot of reading on my iPad, but it's a matter of perspective. The iPad is convenient. It's nice to be able to have something when I'm on a train and be able to just, I want to read this portion of this book without having to physically bring the book. But there's nothing like having a piece of paper that you can, it's yours, it's tangible, you can write on it, you can make memories, you can pass it down to someone. I can't pass my iPad. I mean, I can, but it's not the same thing. So I will always prefer the physical books, but e-reading, they have their own place. I do think if you're living and you don't like go out to read and things like that, and you're just staying at home, then you should absolutely just do physical books. And you're a weirdo if you're just doing e-readers then, because you could go walk up and pick up the book. Don't be lazy ass.
Well, let me clarify. Wait, did you say so? Only read real books if you're living. Otherwise, if you're dead, go ahead and read the.
If you're dead, then you can absolutely do the digital books for sure.
That's a good delineation.
You need a real book. Yeah.
Does anybody prefer reading digitally, like an ebook? Because I prefer a physical book always. I don't even own a Kindle. Anybody? No? Okay.
No. I prefer the physical. I'm old school.
I can continue to communicate with all of you. I'll accept.
Yeah. I mean, I'm jumping in. I'm ready. I prefer the physical. I mean, growing up, my mom used to take me to the bookstore all the time to get me comics, and I used to collect them. And that was like, I fell in love with just the paper form of a book, and then you can just take a book anywhere. Like Richie said, you can pick it up anywhere, pick up where you left off. You can be on the train, you can be on the plane, you can be anywhere, and that physical book is right there to just pick up where you left off. And me, I'm kind of crazy. I don't know if anyone else does this, but if it's like a book that I'm trying to learn stuff from, like whether it's like a self-help book or a book from like pertaining to my career, like I'll take a highlighter and I'll mark that book up. Like I'll mark the whole thing up. Like I have to make it actually brings the book to light to me. I don't know how to explain it, but it like makes it like pop out, like the words pop out, and I just retain the information a lot more rather than just like reading it, because some books have no pictures, and we're just like, you get tired after a while just reading for hours on hours. So you gotta highlight, you gotta do something to kind of just keep you awake. So the highlighter, in a sense, just brings the words to life. And you just can't go wrong with the physical sense of a book. Like I bought the Kobe Bryant book recently, like this past spring, after he passed away. And I mean, you can't get that on a Kindle or anything. Like that's just one of a kind. Like that's in a physical sense. I'd rather just have a book.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up, I think, with a last word here. So I'm gonna go with, the brightness of your being is generated from within. I'm just kidding. That was on his tea earlier today. The tea has like words of wisdom. But no, I'm going to say it's Monday. We got new beginnings, so kick some ass this week. This is the H2G Podcast. We out.
Oh my God, Marvin. The books that don't have pictures in them are
let's just go ahead and go around the horn. Let's talk about what the best part of our weekends were. I'm starting with you, Marvin. Oh, and you're on mute.
Starting strong, buddy.
On mute. Hey, that blooper reel is always rolling. It's always watching.
All right. Let's take it from Chelsea, sending it over to you.